Welcome to BootSpy. My name's William. Today I'll be reviewing the Red Wing Blacksmith. I'm going to be talking about whether or not this boot is worth your money. Let's get into it.
I like this. I like this.
Guys, thank you so much for joining me. As I said, today I am reviewing the Red Wing Blacksmith. This boot is basically Red Wing's alternative, or their answer to the Wolverine 1000 Mile. And it's also a very remarkably similar boot to the Iron Ranger. Make sure that you please hit that subscribe button down below, because in the future, very soon, I'll be doing some comparison videos. One of my iconic boot battle videos that you all know and love so much. I'm going to be comparing it to those two boots in the future. So do please make sure you hit subscribe. And while you're at it, give me a thumbs up. It's super helpful for the channel, and I really, really appreciate it. So let's get straight into it. We're talking about the Red Wing Blacksmith, and I'm going to start with my first impressions. As I said, as soon as I opened the box up, I was kind of stunned at how similar these look to the Wolverine 1000 Miles and how similar they also look to the Iron Rangers. Now, these are definitely different than the Iron Rangers. They are a plain toe boot, and they come in a variety of different leathers that the Iron Ranger doesn't. And I picked the Blacksmiths up in Black Prairie. So that is basically, it's an interesting leather in that it has a matte paint on it. So this is a very matte finish for a Red Wing boot. And as I wear this, as I kind of scuff it up, some of this natural leather color will start to show through this black, because this is painted on and it's not like super saturated. The dye isn't like super penetrated into the leather. So some of that natural color is going to shine through as the scuffs up, and it creates a really cool effect. So I'm looking forward to, wearing these for the next year or so and beating them up and getting that patina show through and all that. A couple quick facts about the Red Wing Blacksmith. It is a 270 degree Goodyear welted boot. So it has a fair amount of water resistance and is easily resolable, has triple stitching along the vamp. And it's also built on the same number 8 last that the Red Wing Iron Ranger is. So it has more of a bulbous toe box, though it is a plain toed boot. It does not have the cap toe like the Red Wing Iron Ranger. It is plain toe, so it's a little bit more sleek. And again, yeah, kind of looks a lot more similar to the Wolverine 1000 Mile here. One thing I've been really enjoying about the Blacksmith is this complementary brass, the eyelets, and the speed hooks. I really think that those go really well, especially with the Black Prairie, but also the Blacksmith comes in different leathers, the most popular ones being the Briar Oil-Slick. And I think those that brass hardware really complements all the leathers that the Blacksmith comes in. As for the leather quality, all the Blacksmiths are made with full grain oil tanned leather from the SB Foot Tanning Company. That's basically Red Wing's in-house tannery based in Red Wing, Minnesota. So yeah, they create all their leathers. This one, again, is the Black Prairie leather, but you can find the Blacksmith in, I think they have a rough and tough variety. They also have the Briar Slick, which is the most popular. But yeah, I went with the Black Prairie. I just love the matte black, and I don't have anything like this in my wardrobe, so I decided to pick this one up. The leather's made in a combination tanning process, so it does use some vegetable tanning agents, but it also uses chrome tanning agents. It really does like a nice balance to where it has a lot of the stiffness and sturdiness of vegetable tan leather, but it still stays pretty supple and soft from that chrome tanning process. And then it's packed with oils. So this is a pull-up leather, and that just really does kind of keep down the amount of maintenance you have to do. You don't really have to treat these all too often to keep the leather moist, to keep it from cracking. And especially if you take this through, the water or anything like that and get it caked with mud, these can handle that sort of treatment. So that's something that you're getting with, those $300+ boots. When you get up into that higher range, you're getting a boot that the leather is really built to take a beating. And so you're definitely getting that with the Blacksmith. The sole of the Red Wing Blacksmith is a Vibram 430 mini lug sole. This is the same thing that the Red Wing Iron Ranger has, and I'm a huge fan of this sole. Now, I've had the Iron Ranger for about 3 or 4 months now, and along the heel, and it's the same sole, so you basically, this is interchangeable, but basically there's almost no wearing down around the heel, which is always the first thing to go. So I've really been enjoying this in terms of its slip resistance, its oil resistance, and for how durable it is, how little I've seen that heel wear down over the first 4 months. I can definitely tell that this sole is going to go for several years before I need to even repair the heel, and it'll probably go, 5 years or something like that before I need to actually change out this part of the sole as well. So yeah, the Vibram 430 mini lug, I'm a big fan of it. It's way better than the previous sole, which was nitrile cork. It's better than a leather sole. I'm just a really big fan of the Vibram 430. The insole is leather. It has a cork midsole. So over time, this should break in a little bit more with leather soles, and that cork midsole, basically you kind of sink into it over time. As you wear it more often, it molds to the shape of your foot. So when you put on the boot after 6 months to a year, basically your foot fits perfectly into place. That's not the case right now with the Blacksmiths for me. But yeah, I've only had these for a few weeks, but I'm getting there more with my Iron Rangers, and basically same sole. So it's going to be probably the same process, same amount of miles you got to put in before it starts to really sink in. As for fit and sizing, I have my Iron Rangers fitted for me at the Red Wing shop. And then I bought these Blacksmiths, I bought them online. So I just went with the same size. I went a half size lower. So I'm normally a size 10.5 in any sort of sneaker. That's kind of my average size. But I went down to a size 10 for the Blacksmiths. They fit really well right away. They're kind of snug along the instep right here, right there. So you do feel some snugness there. You have plenty of room in the toe because that number 8 last. It's kind of more bulbous, so you have a lot of wiggle room for your toes. But I think it's a good thing if you're putting them on at first and you feel some snugness right around the sides. This leather is going to continue to stretch out. It's going to, as it warms up, as you put in more miles, it's going to kind of expand a little bit. It's going to relax a little bit, and then it will basically form to your foot. It'll give you enough support without being too tight. Of course, if you're feeling any sort of like tingly feelings in your feet, you want to avoid that. So then maybe go up a size. I've heard of some people going a full size lower. I think if you have very narrow feet, that might be a good option. But I think if you're not sure, you can't go into a Red Wing store to get them fitted for you, I would go with a half size lower. As for the break-in period, I really expected these to be tough. I expected this to be a pretty arduous, pretty painful experience. With the amber harness leather on the Red Wing Iron Ranger, I had blisters every time I wore them out for the first 2 weeks. And then my feet were sore after that for another 2 weeks after that. So it was basically a month-long break-in period for the Iron Rangers. So I expected that. Same thing, Blacksmith. It's basically the same boot. But the Black Prairie leather was a breeze. It did not really ever cause any blisters on my feet. And within, two wears, I think, basically about 5 miles of wearing, there was no soreness at all. So yeah, just put on some thick wool socks, wear them out, and then within 5 miles, I'd say they're pretty well broken in, and the leather's pretty relaxed. So big fan of that. Here's my final verdict on the Red Wing Blacksmith. What I like about this boot is that basically it is a plain toe version of the Red Wing Iron Ranger. The Iron Ranger is one of my favorite boots. Been really enjoying wearing it, but now they have this version, the Blacksmith, that has a lot of the same construction quality, but it's a little bit sleeker looking, comes in different leathers, and it has a little bit more complementary hardware, not so contrasting as that nickel-plated hardware. So I'm a big fan of that. Second thing I like about these boots, this is kind of specific to the Black Prairie colorway, but basically as I scuff these up, as I wear them, as I break them in, that natural leather color is going to start showing through. So that kind of like lighter tan, it's going to show through the black, and then it kind of creates this really cool two-tone, this very distinctive, very unique look. And I'm looking forward to that a lot. So that's specific to this color, but there is no Red Wing Iron Ranger Black Prairie color. It only comes in the Blacksmith. Third thing I like about this boot, the Vibram 430 mini lug sole. This has a ton of slip resistance, and it doesn't really add a lot to the profile of the boot. It's not like one of those huge lug soles where you're adding like an inch to the bottom of the boot. It really is pretty flush with the ground while still giving you a lot of the same benefits as those thicker lug soles would. Fourth, I love that this has a 270-degree Goodyear welt. 360 degrees, a lot of times that adds about a half inch or, a quarter inch to the back of the heel. And by having it just 270 degrees, you kind of keep this profile a little bit slimmer because this is kind of a big boot. So if you keep that heel a little bit slimmer, it really narrows the whole boot down, makes it look a little more sleek, but it's still Goodyear welted. So it has all those water resistant benefits. And then it also is pretty easy to resole. What I don't like about the Blacksmith, there's really only one thing. There isn't anything in there that acts as a good shock absorber. So if you spend your whole day standing on your feet it does get quite uncomfortable. And I know that as you wear these more, your feet sink into the insole, but that's still, there's nothing really there that adds a ton of like cushion as you take steps. So if you're walking a lot, or if you just stand on your feet in one spot all day long, you're gonna start feeling it because there just isn't anything in the middle of this. Should you get the Red Wing Blacksmith? Last time I checked on Amazon, this was at $300. Again, Red Wing is an American heritage brand. If you are looking into kind of getting your first pair of boots, there are some other options out there, but really of the experience that I've had, Red Wing has been one of my favorite brands because they do, when you put them on, you just feel the quality. These are pretty heavyweight, these are pretty heavy duty. They stand up to mud, to water super well. Very easy to clean, very easy to take care of. You don't really have to worry about these wearing out at all within like the first 5 years. And if you take even a modest amount of care of them, they should last, easily should last a decade with only like 1 or 2 resoles. And they can even last beyond that too if you take good care of them. Use your shoe trees, use leather balm on them fairly often. That's gonna have these boots lasting, a decade or more. So for $300, really, when you think about the cost per wear, these are absolutely, absolutely worth it. Guys, again, if you are interested in seeing the Red Wing Blacksmiths compared to the Wolverine 1000 Mile or the Red Wing Iron Ranger, please do hit that subscribe button down below. And while you're at it, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. It really helps the channel and I very much appreciate it. So I have links to the Red Wing Blacksmith down below. You can also check out our review over at BootSpy.com. I'll have that link in the description below as well. Until next time, put your best foot forward.